What's happening, guys? It's me, Drew, aka The Green Arrow, and today is going to be my review on Gotham. So let's jump into it. This week's episode is basically Gordon versus Barnes. Now, that's better. So, this week's episode is about Barnes versus Gordon. And the reason it's Barnes, this episode even, is sheerly for the fact that Barnes actually loses it. But we realise that anyway because in the last episode he kind of freaking decapitated some guy from his head, from his body, like just with his hands. So like we know he's kind of gone a bit crazy. We also see him put the surgeon guy through the wall. Now just before the surgeon guy dies, he tells Jim that it was Barnes who put him through the wall. So, we kind of go on a little crusade this episode of Gordon's wanting to find out what's going on with Barnes. So, at the beginning of the episode, he says to Bullock, listen, like, there's something wrong with Barnes. Like, for the last couple of weeks now, he's not being himself. See how he had a miraculous, recovery, like, when he, with his leg and everything, he can stop using his cane. He said, so basically, there's something wrong with him. And Bullock was like, nah, not Barnes, not Barnes. Barnes is okay, like, you got it wrong. And Gordon's like, no, I've not got it wrong. Like, I know there's something wrong with him, and I'm going to find out what it is. So basically, Gordon being Gordon starts to snoop. He went into his office and he was basically looking for, like, evidence of his, like, wrongdoing. And whilst looking, he falls upon the Alex Tech virus, and who basically is kind of like consumed over the last couple of like generations of it being around, kind of thing. And Barnes walks in, and he says to him, "You know, what are you doing?" He says, "Oh, I'm looking for the case on the Paul Penny case. It kind of links to the case that I'm on at the moment. Just wanted to look into it." And Barnes then says to him, well, what is it about that case that, you know, you're interested in, kind of thing? He's like, nothing in particular, you know, but it just might link to the case I'm in now. So Barnes, being the quick, like, witted person he is, he's like, okay, so what we'll do then is I'll come along with you. We'll do it together. He's like, no. He goes, it's just the lead. I'm just going to go talk to him, see what happens. But I was like, no, not a problem. I'll come with you. So he said, all right, fair enough. So he ends up giving him this address, and Gordon's in the car, and he calls Bullock and says to Bullock, listen, I'm in the car with Barnes at the moment. We're going to this lock-up place. I need you to meet me there. ASAP, obviously, Bullock went on the phone, so he left a message, and they went on their journey, and they got in the car and they got to their destination. And before they got to their destination, Barnes said to Gordon, right, you've obviously got questions that you want to ask me them. Gordon's like, no. He goes, well, you've obviously got questions you want to ask, so just ask them. He goes, and ask them as you would ask a normal person. So he's like, okay, and he asked him, he said, did you see the surgeon guy? And he said, yeah, I saw a surgeon guy. He said, did you have any interaction with this surgeon guy? He said, no, I didn't have no interaction with this surgeon guy. He said, was you in the bathroom? Was you in the bathroom? And he said, yeah, I was in the bathroom. And Gordon looked at him and he was like, but I was in the bathroom before the crime scene happened, so obviously my prints and everything could be around in there because I obviously used it to freshen up before the murder or before the accident actually happened. So Gordon's looking at him thinking, yeah, you slippery git, you slippery git. Alright, fair enough. And then they continue driving. He's gone, oh, you missed your turn. He's gone, oh no, I meant blah 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 instead of blah blah blah. And he's gone, okay. So they end up getting into this factory kind of lock-up place, and there's this guy sitting in a chair, and they both go in, guns drawn. Gordon's got his pistol drawn, and Barnes has got this shotgun. And he's basically walked up to the guy and they asked him, where were you a couple of nights ago? He said he was at some game or something. And Barnes then says to him, do you know the Sergeant guy? And he said, no, I don't know who you're talking about. Then Gordon says to him, do you know a guy called Simon? He says, no, I don't know him neither. And Barnes basically blows this guy to hell. Like, literally just blows this guy to hell. And he's turned the gun on Gordon, and he looked at Gordon and he said to Gordon, you've got to make a choice. You can, like, come with me, help me, like, bring down all the bad people and the criminals in Gotham, or you can stand against me. And Jim was looking at him and he was like, well, if it's the fact that you're going to go around killing people, he goes, I'm definitely going to stand up against you. So with that, Barnes has then said to him, well, you know, if that's the case, then so be it. And Gordon's looking around and he's like, wait a minute, you're now going to set me up for this murder, ain't you? And Barnes was like, listen, I told you, you're either with me or against me. And then at that point, some next dude comes in looking for the guy who's been blown away. And that was Gordon's split second to basically get out of Dodge. So he jumps out the window and he's on his toes. So whilst he's on his toes, Barnes calls the GCPD and basically says that Gordon's on the rampage. He's killed this guy. He's tried to kill him. We need to bring him in, kind of thing. And Bullock walks into the GCPD and he sees like Alvarez and everyone else trying to like scub around, putting on their jackets and everything. And he's like, what's going on? What's happening? And Alvarez says to Barnes, basically, Gordon's gone on the loopy. We're going to take him in by any means necessary. So if I was you, he's your partner, I'd give him a call, tell him to come in like on his own accord so nothing like happens to him. So obviously Bullock being Bullock, calls Jim and says to him, what's going on? And Jim's basically said, listen, Barnes has gone mad. He's infected with the Alice Tech virus and, you know, you've got to help me get him under control. So you've got the whole of the GCPD basically looking for Gordon to take him down. And you've got Bullock on his own thinking, oh, shit, what am I to do now? Like, what am I to do? Obviously, he wants to believe him, but then he's going to go up against his captain, so he's a bit like, I don't know what to do. So he turns to one person, and this one person was Lee. Now, he went in and explained to Lee the situation and told her, listen, Jim needs your help. Like, I understand that, like, you may not really want to trust Jim at the moment, but if you don't, he's going to die. And she then asked him why, what happened, and she basically said, listen, at the end of the day, Captain Barnes is infected with the Alice Tech virus. She killed somebody. He's tried to set Jim up for it. And like, now we need your help, kind of thing. So, you know, Lee being Lee, she serves the papers that she needs to serve. And Bullock goes to the correct warehouse at this point. They turn up at the warehouse and Bullock's in there with Jim. And he says to Jim, listen, you know, they're coming for you. And Jim's like, well, if that's the case, then that's the case. Next thing you know, Bullock says to Captain Barnes, listen, come out, surrender yourself. You won't get hurt and everything's going to be okay. Nah, he's like, I don't quite think so. What I'm going to do is try and convince Jim to let me go because you need someone like me in Gotham to take care of all the criminals and bad elements in Gotham. And without me, it's never going to get done. So Jim's like, nah, I can't let you go. So Barnes has just said, you know what, then I'm going to have to kill you. He has his shotgun up. Jim obviously has his gun, and you hear a gunshot. It cuts to Bullock. And, you know, they're rushing into the warehouse. And next thing you see, Jim's standing there. He's put the gun up and he's walked forward. Barnes on the floor clutching his chest because obviously he's just been shot in the shoulder. And he was down. So he got arrested and now he's in Arkham because he's not going to be put in prison because prison, it's too good for him at the moment. He's a bit crazy. So they stuck him in Arkham, put him in a straitjacket, and now he's locked away. But the thing is with him being locked away in Arkham is there's one other person who's also locked away in Arkham, and that's the Mad Hatter. So you know the Mad Hatter's been trying to get this virus for ages. So I'm predicting that these two are going to team up together, and you know, obviously Barnes is going to give the Mad Hatter the virus for himself, and yeah, they're going to start their little like a rampage of craziness. We know that Barnes is going to become a new character. Like he's not freaking Solomon Grundy. He's not flipping Bane like everyone thinks he's actually going to become a new character. So it's going to be interesting to see what kind of character and what kind of name he's going to have. But we'll flip over quickly and we'll go over to like, what's her name? Isabella. Obviously we know that the Penguin set up Isabella to die, and obviously Nigma weren't really happy with that, so he wanted to do his own little investigation. You know, he wanted to put it to rest. So all he really done is he wanted to take flowers to where she was basically hit by the train and basically pay his last respects. So while he's doing so, an old man tramp person comes up to him, blind as anything, but says to him that he heard. And you know, Enigma's like, what did you hear? The guy shaking his cup. He's like, give me some money, give me some money. So, you know, Enigma's like, okay, I'll give you some money, but tell me what you heard. So he said that he heard her screaming. And Enigma was like, well, wait a minute, she was supposed to be asleep 4 blocks from her house. She fell asleep, so you just told me she's screaming. What's going on? So his little brain starts ticking, and the first thing he does is go to the GCPD impound yard. And he gets underneath the car and he pulls out the brake cables, and he's like, wait a minute, they've been cut. He goes, how can you not know that these have been cut unless you've been paid off by someone? And you're thinking to yourself, oh, is he going to get the Penguin? He's going to get the Penguin. So then he goes back to the Penguin, and you're thinking he's going to confront him and say, why did you do this? And he says to him, you know what, this person needs to be dealt with. And the Penguin's like, I agree, who do you think it is? And he turns around and says, Butch. So you're thinking to yourself, no. But you also think to yourself, wait a minute, if you think it's Butch, the next week is going to be amazing. Because, like, think about it, if the Riddler goes to Butch and, like, obviously kidnaps Butch or Tabitha or something, you've got Barbara. And that's going to be fucking chaotic as it is. But then when they find out that it weren't actually them and it was the Penguin, it's going to be 4 against 1. And that is going to be epic. And I'm waiting for that. That's going to be so good. But also we had the return of Ivy as well. And Ivy returned, and, you know, she... basically, it was her using her powers, and her powers basically consisted of plants. So it's like pheromones in plants. So like she could basically get guys to do whatever she wanted, and she ends up stealing this crystal. Now, at the beginning, you're thinking it's not no big deal, and like, obviously she goes to Selena and she says to Selena, "What, I'm Ivy," you know, and Selena's like, "What?" And I'm Ivy, and she's like, what? And she's like, well, yeah, I'm Ivy, I'm hungry. And the first thing she done is she ate. So Selena called Bruce, and Bruce was like, don't worry, I'll be there. He's come over, and whilst they're there, these guys turn up. So these people, I'm taking it for the Court of Owls, because they just look like the Court of Owls kind of characters. And they're there and they're shooting crossbows at them. So they end up escaping, and Bruce says to Ivy, listen, I will pay you for this crystal, but I'm going to give it back to the guy. And they end up coming to a price which was like $5,000 or something. And Bruce is like, fine, I'll give you that. Just give me the crystal. So they end up taking the crystal back to this guy's house. And you find out this guy's got an arrow in the eye. And you're thinking to yourself, okay, it's the same guys who are hunting down Ivy, hunted down this guy and basically like, put an arrow in him because boom, why would you put an arrow in him? So Selena decides to throw the crystal across the room and say, listen, they want it so bad they can have it. She threw it. So when she threw it, Ivy realised that the crystal broke. And when it broke, there was a key inside. So Bruce is like, there's only one place we're going to be safe. Let's go to Wayne Manor. So they ended up going to Wayne Manor. And whilst being in Wayne Manor, you see the same guys who were hunting Ivy and who obviously stuck the arrow into that guy's eye. You kind of saw them hunting her place. And when they were like hunting and searching, they found these bricks that obviously she's got a stash box behind. And on top of this stash box was a picture of Bruce. Now, to me, I think that's going to link Selena to Bruce, because why else would you have a picture of Bruce Wayne in your stash hole if you didn't rather like the guy or you didn't know the guy? So, like, that's how I think they're going to link Selena to Bruce, and I think that's their next trip. And the next trip is going to be Wayne Manor. So, it's going to be interesting. I think the key as well is going to, like, it's some kind of puzzle. Like, you had Jim a couple of weeks ago with the ring from his dad, and then you had the key that Bruce has found. So I think the two could be related somehow. I'm not quite sure how. I do believe it's all to do with the Court of Owls, but I believe there's answers for both Bruce and for Jim at the end of this quest. But that's it really, guys. That has been Gotham in a nutshell. Sorry it's been so late, but obviously, like I said, I've been really busy lately with like home stuff and work. So it's been a little bit late. But like always, guys, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button to keep you informed with all things Gotham. If you like it, guys, hit that like button so I know you guys are also out there as well. But as always, guys, I am your host, Drew, aka the Green Arrow. Straight shooting, people.